Welcome to Let's Talk, Nixon Peabody series spotlighting women leaders. I'm Sonia Nayak, managing partner of Nixon Peabody's Los Angeles office. Today, I am thrilled to be joined by Dr. Lori Bettison-Varga, president of the Natural History Museums of Los Angeles County, which includes the iconic La Brea Tar Pits. A geologist by training, Dr. Lori has steered the museums through a decade of profound change, while championing them as places of wonder, development, and community. In November of 2024, after years of work, she led the opening of NHM Commons, a $75 million expansion. She is now spearheading the reimagination of the La Brea Tar Pits, anchored by the newly announced Samuel Ocean Global Center for Ice Age Research. Welcome, Dr. Lori.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
So I just want to preface, when this reopens in summer of 2028, it's going to look vastly different. Can you give us an idea of what we can expect?
Yes, it will look different. It will be open to the outside in the sense that you'll be able to see in from the outside. You can't now. And the entire story is going to be redone in a way that is relevant. People can understand what's happening here as opposed to just mounts with placards. But I also want to say for Angelinos that there will be things that are the same. The frieze, the basic shape, the hills that people roll down, the tar pool in a new version will be here. So there'll be things that are very important to the community in a newly renovated, beautiful space with state-of-the-art research and collections areas that are important to continuing to do the research here.
When you say relevant, what do you mean by that?
Well, what's happening today, certainly with biodiversity loss, with climate change, ecological change, is actually reflected at this place in the past. So we can learn about what's happening today from looking at the incredible fossil collection, an entire ecosystem that's preserved here, and help us think about extinction versus resilience during changes in climate.
So for those folks who are watching and who haven't been here to this iconic place, the La Brea Tar Pits, how would you describe what makes it special?
Such a good question, because even Angelinos don't always understand why it's special. This is the most important Ice Age location in the world in terms of understanding what happened during the last natural climate change. We have the most important collection of terrestrial Ice Age fossils, the only place like it in the world.
The only place like it in the whole world?
The only place like it in the whole world here in Los Angeles, easily accessible. You can get to it by car or soon by metro.
So take us back to the early days. What first sparked your love for science, for geology?
So I always was interested in the natural world, but it was a high school course I took on earthquake studies that got me inspired to go into geology. I was, Long Beach Long Beach raised, and a little bit afraid of earthquakes.
Right.
So I took the course and in fact fell in love with the subject. Geology is so big. And in the 70s, when this museum opened, I was one of the first attendees. At least I was in the first year of being here. So It's always meant something to me to be, this place has always meant something to me.
That's an incredible, full circle kind of moment, I'm sure.
Yes, it is, actually.
Yeah.
It drew me to the position.
So you served as president of Scripps College, held positions at Pomona College, College of Worcester, and Whitman College before making the shift to the museum world. Was there a catalyst for that shift?
So I loved my time in higher ed, particularly enjoyed being the president of a women's college, but the opportunity to lead a science organization, which speaks to me as a geologist and an educator, and to work with a staff that is essentially doing the museum work for the public. So moving into the civic arena was a next step.
The logical next step.
The logical next step, yes.
So, as I said in the introduction, right, this series spotlights women leaders. So let's just dive right into it. How has your training as a scientist, let's talk about that first, influenced the way that you make leadership decisions and
Well-
how you lead?
So first off, I would say I've never felt like I need to be the smartest person at the table. I really want my team to be engaged and really thinking through issues as we come to solutions. And because I'm a scientist, I tend to really prefer data-based decision making. So I want to make sure that any problems we have and we consider solutions, that we're looking broadly at the data that we can collect to inform those decisions.
And is there a difference between perhaps how being a scientist impacted your leadership decisions as the director of the museum versus president of Scripps College, for example?
It's an interesting question. I think I practice leadership the same way. Collaborative, team-based decision-making, but also in a way that really, I hope, the staff at the museum, just like the staff at Scripps College when I was president, knew that I listened and learned from them as well. So not a top-down leader,
Right.
definitely someone who I feel that I'm someone who's serving the broader organization and the community,
Right.
certainly here, but being able to listen to those voices that have opinions about the direction the organization should go, experience on the ground, floor-based experience to help inform directions. That's definitely an approach I've taken.
So pivoting slightly or changing hats, if you will, looking back on your career, the entirety of the career, right? How has your experience, your existence as a woman, right, shaped your leadership style? And the question that I always love to ask other women leaders is, how has that been a distinct advantage?
I approach my leadership with a sense of empathy for the people I'm leading. And that has always been a top 5 value for me. I don't know if that's just because I'm a woman or because I'm a mother, but I always try to imagine through the process the viewpoints or the particular situation someone might be in when they're expressing things to me. So leading with empathy means you're taking care of the people that are on the team. Leading with empathy to me means that I'm also in a leadership position when I have to make decisions that are hard, that I'm thinking about how to relay those in a way that takes the individual's concerns at heart. So I think I lead with empathy along with all of the other things you would expect in a leader.
I would think then this is sort of the culmination, not culmination, but it's the intersection that really capitalizes off of both of those strengths, both as the scientist and the traits that are inherent from that experience, and then as a woman. And I would, just in talking to you now, just realize not only just a scientist, but the geologist, I think you would have additional perspective of like just history and evolution and be able to lead with a bigger picture sometimes,
well, bigger
right?
picture,
in mind.
right? I mean, geology is an interdisciplinary science,
Right.
So you take into account, chemistry, biology, physics, all of these things kind of are embodied in geology. So I guess in a way, my training as a scientist has also been about integrating information, integrating
Right.
perspectives. So I guess that works for me.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. It's new. It's good. So do you have mentors who have helped you along the way, and what is the best advice that you have received?
I think like all people, I've had mentors. I've certainly had people that I've looked up to, women and men, who have supported me throughout my career. The best piece of advice actually came about at a conference and a session during a conference. It was all women leaders.
Wow.
And we were discussing different things that we use, tools that we use. And one of the women there gave this quote that I to this day, try to remind myself of. Don't wrestle with the pigs. You'll get dirty, and they'll like it.
Don't wrestle with the pigs. They'll get dirty, and they'll like it.
No, you'll get dirty.
You'll get dirty, and they'll
like it.
Okay.
In other words,
Don't
don't engage
Right.
with the people that are right.
Yeah.
The social media trolls or the people that are really exercised about something in a way that you regret, because they'll actually enjoy that aspect of it. because people that are on the outside and want to stir things up like to see you get
I
involved
love
in
that.
it.
I'm gonna use that. So with the Natural History Museum spanning multiple locations across the county and various communities, right? How do you lead across locations, particularly around decision making and culture building?
So we do town halls, and we used to do them just at NHM, and it was a problem because the folks with the tar pits would have a hard time coming. So now I do town halls at both locations. We're present, being able to engage and hear how things might be different at this location in terms of concerns than they are at NHM. But then at a level of the organization as a whole, we make sure that there are consistencies across the organization in the way in which we manage, in the way in which we share information, in the way in which we hear from our staff from across the board. But it is a challenge because even though it's a short distance, it actually takes a while to get between the two locations.
Not only that, it is two different communities
Yeah.
in terms of the immediate sort of vicinities of each location.
That's actually true. In fact, South LA and NHM, very connected to that community in a different way than we are here, where people, about a third of the visitors are community and 2/3 are international. So we have to be really thinking about international and national, tourists, basically. 2/3 are tourists. So we have to think about the community that uses the park on a day-to-day basis, as well as the community of visitors that are coming as tourists. Of course, the two locations share the same basic principle, which is we are of, for, and with Los Angeles. And that helps to unify the work that we do.
Right. I mean, just in the time that when I got here before our chat, I was walking around and I heard at least 3 or 4 different languages being spoken. So
that's right.
I thought that was really interesting and cool.
Yeah, that's
experience on a Wednesday afternoon. All right, so the museum recently received a historic gift from Mr. and Mrs. Samuel Ocean Family Foundation to reimagine the Brea Tar Pits. What is the impact of this gift, and what is your vision for this transformation?
Well, first I would say without this visionary gift, we would not be able to be on the timeline that we're on for reimagining La Brea Tar Pits. So we're incredibly grateful for the transformational gift that we've received. And what we envision with the Samuel Ocean Global Center for Ice Age Research is that it is the intellectual core for the entire location, from the excavations all the way to bringing the specimens in, preparation, research, and then presentation to the public. It is who we are.
Right.
So the vision for this really is to bring this work, Ice Age work, to relevance so that the public understands that what they're learning here, not so long ago, up to 13,000 years ago, actually tells us about today and why that's important.
Not only what it tells us about today, but where we also might be potentially going
in the future, right? So you can think about Los Angeles as the Serengeti with much larger animals,
Right.
not that long ago, and what that means past, present, and future.
So, Dr. Laurie, as you look ahead, what are you most excited about?
For the Brea Tar Pits, I'm excited about really bringing to fruition this indoor-outdoor experience, helping people from Los Angeles all the way to wherever the far reaches of the globe folks might be coming here, to understand the critical importance of ecosystems, understanding ecosystem change, and what we can do to create a healthier community and planet.
So that's professionally. What about personally?
Personally, I've got 2 more weddings in my family.
Okay.
I have a wonderful new grandson. And
Oh, congratulations.
yes, so
That's exciting.
Lots of fun things coming up. And of course, every day I feel just blessed to be in this role.
Okay, so we like to close this out with a rapid fire sort of series of questions. I'm just going to hit you with them and just give me your answer. Dr. Laurie, what was your first job?
I think my first job when I was 15 was flipping burgers at the Cherry Beach Street Burger Shack in Long Beach.
Is it still there? Do you
No,
know?
sadly it's no longer there. On the beach, it's gone.
What are you watching or reading or listening to?
Well, I'm watching Rooster right now with Steve Carroll.
Carell, yeah.
It brings me back to my higher ed experience. It's a good show.
This is a broad one, but just favorite LA spot, and you can't say the museum.
I know,
so,
I can't say the museums, right?
Yeah.
So I like nothing better than sitting at the Hollywood Bowl and just watching the sun go down and the music and the crowds and just the feeling of LA.
So you're thematically consistent, iconic Los Angeles
Yes,
spots,
that's
right?
right.
Is what you're going for. Coolest tar pit find.
So there's so many cool tar pits finds, but I think what really shocks me is that we get beetle wings. So everyone thinks
Wow.
about, right, the big bones,
Yeah,
the megafauna,
yeah.
but the microfossils are incredible. So if you look at just a
Microfossils.
beetle wing and you understand what that tells you, it's powerful because the beetles tell us a lot about climate change. So
That's
the
very cool,
smallest
yeah.
microfossils are amazing, and we don't, talk about them as much here as we will in the future. Brea Tar Pits,
What is the one thing you can't live without?
my family.
Yeah. That's fair. I'll give you that. Give you that.
Yeah, no, definitely my family.
Thank you so much for your time today. We're so excited to have been a part of the Samuel Ocean Family Foundation gift and looking forward to what that gift and the impact is going to have here at the La Brea Tar Pits. And I think it's incredible that you, of all people, are leading the museum through this next phase of its growth and its development.
Thank you so much.